love it. Opening up with applause. Hey, everybody. I'm Shannon. This is Phil.
What's up?
We got so much applause. I
appreciate
know.
it.
And we are coming to you live from Bat City Comic Professionals on Austin's East Side. We are going to be talking to you about all of this week's amazing comics that came out. Some of our favorites, some of your favorites, some really cool things that we're just excited about, and we're going to do it all while we wind down our weekend. So hopefully if you're at home, you're grabbing something to drink and drinking with us and hanging out. Yo, what's up, Joshua? J2 in the comments. Good
What's
to
up,
see
J2?
you, buddy. Yes, I'm going to share this really fast. Phil, you are welcome to share as well. You guys following along.
Wait, there's a button that says share right in the corner.
Yes, I'm excited about some books this week. This is going to be a fantastic conversation because there are some really great books. While Phil is sharing his post, I'm going to share our wine with you for this week. We are doing Honoro Vera, which is a Cab Sav, and it is actually, is this the one that was imported from, no, yes, maybe? Yeah, this is a product of Spain. Ooh. So this is a Spanish wine. Super excited. I'm nowhere near the camera, I'm sure. Oh man, this one. You want to taste it?
Yes, I've been drinking it.
You've been drinking it. Oh,
it's pretty delicious. I may go for a second glass this time.
Ooh, we found a wine that Phil enjoys. I'm excited.
As long as it tastes like juice.
This one does. It tastes a lot like some hardcore grape juice, but not too sweet.
No.
Which I like, because I don't like when wines are super sweet. But
not overly buttery either. That was my big thing about last week's wine, was how buttery it was. This one, not so much.
I like the backside of this bottle.
It's a cool bottle.
Yeah, and it's all embossed, so like everything is raised on it, which I think is super cool.
Ooh, and it's vegan.
Ooh, what?
Well, wait, wouldn't all wine technically be vegan?
I don't know. Maybe if not processed through like vegan stuff like this, they can guarantee like they didn't run it through anything that might hit something. Yeah. Brian Lassiter in the comments just asked if you were drinking.
Yes. I am.
Phil is winding down his weekend.
A rare occasion.
Yeah.
A rare occasion.
Speaking of Phil Sanderson is in the comments, and I just wanted to say a shout out to Posse East for their 50th anniversary. You guys know that we love the Posse East over on Duval Street. We actually closed the store for half the day yesterday to get to go celebrate their 50th anniversary, which was an amazing, awesome experience. They were so crowded. There's so many people out there. They had drink specials, they had food specials, they had raffles. It was awesome. There were so many cool things going on, and it was a great way to celebrate a huge Austin staple. And if you didn't see our post, it's a huge part of Bat City's history. Before we actually had a physical location, Posse East would allow us to set up once a month to do preview days where people could come and check out the catalog and figure out like what books they wanted to get, and you could pre-order, like you still can, or subscribe, and then that's how we would set up subscriptions for everybody, and then Matt and I would drive them to people's homes on Wednesdays when they would come out. And then we also, because Matt ran their open mic, they let us set up comic tables on Tuesday nights, and we could actually sell comics there. So when Bat City did not have a store, its home was actually at Posse East, and personal existence. That is how Matt and I kind of got together and grew our relationship, was at Posse East. So it's super big part of our Bat City family and our personal family. So congrats, Posse East, on your 50th anniversary. Yeah. Woo.
Yeah.
There they are.
I was waiting for it.
Gomez said it looks like the wine is dividing us.
It is.
We are torn apart by this wine.
Yes.
It is the wall between us.
Yes.
But we are digging it. I love this label and the fact that it goes from black to blue.
Now, are they an award-winning winery like the last one? Like Boggle?
This does not. No, it does not. I don't know. They don't have any awards listed on here, but there is a QR code. So if you want to find out more, you could scan it and find out, which I absolutely love.
I'm going to.
QR codes on things. There's also this app that you can, like, take a picture of the bottle of wine that you have, and it'll tell you, like, everything about it, and then you can, like, write down whether or not you liked it and, like, why you liked it, and then it'll catalog it for you. So it's like CLZ for wine.
Yes.
So I love it.
I don't know what that
It needed some applause.
But okay.
So, did you have a good week?
It's been a long week. Very long. But so many great comics. I cannot wait. Very excited.
I know. You came in and you were like, I am so screwed. There are so many good books out this week. And I was like, I feel that deep in my soul, Phil.
A lot of indies and DC as well. Bringing out some books that I'm very excited for. So,
I know.
Lots to talk about.
You had a giant DC stack. I was impressed.
Yes. Which I was trying to get rid of, but it seems every time I say no to DC, they reel me back in.
It happens. It happens.
It's Tom King's fault.
It's always Tom King's
Honestly,
fault.
if Tom King left DC, I'd be fine. I really would.
But he'll just find somewhere else to go, and then you'll have to buy all those books.
Not necessarily. It seems like every time Tom King picks a character, it's a character I love.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's not... it's kind of like with Donny Cates. I don't read Donny Cates because I'm not really into the characters that Donny writes about. So it's okay for me. But Tom King, I mean, Human Target's next. It's just too much. It's just too much.
He's inside your brain. What if Tom King did a Squirrel Girl book?
Ooh, I think he is too deep for that.
Too serious?
Too serious. Yeah.
Right. I know you want a Donnie Squirrel Girl book.
Oh, gosh. Donnie writing Squirrel Girl, that would be the end for me. I could quit reading comics after that.
Right. So if you're watching Donnie...
Yes, please.
Phil wants Squirrel Girl book.
Every time I see you at a convention, I will talk about Squirrel Girl for 45 minutes. I won't have you sign a single thing, and I'll just pitch all of my Squirrel Girl ideas.
I mean, I might have already thrown the fact that you want that his way, so we'll see.
And see. Meg has to draw it too.
Oh, now we're just getting greedy.
Yes. Or at least variant covers from Meg.
There you go.
So.
All right. So there you go, Hutchison Cates family.
Yeah. Yes.
Get on this Squirrel Girl book for Phil. Just for Phil. Doesn't have to even go through.
No, yeah, you don't actually have to fully publish it and put it out into the world. Just send me. It could even be not. It doesn't have to be colored. Send me black and white. Just mail me the storyboards, the giant storyboards. Just send me those and I'll be fine.
There you go. That's all he needs in life.
Mm-hmm. Yes. More Squirrel Girl.
All right. Well, we're going to give you guys something already. Oh my gosh, the ice maker just made noise. It scared me. Woo!
It's TV. I'm going to go deaf in one ear.
Just that side, though. It's fine.
Yes.
All right. So we're starting it out with one of the Amalgam comics, actually. The Magnetic Men featuring Magneto and a DC Rebirth Titans #1. You are getting both of these comics if you can tell me the answer to this question. The comic adaptation and series of 2001 A Space Odyssey were both published on July 27th, 1976. Who wrote and penciled both of those? Yes, so if you can basically just tell me who wrote and penciled both the comic adaptation and the full series of 2001 A Space Odyssey, you can get both of these books. It's one person. That's the secret to the answer. It's one person. That's your hint.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of who it is.
Yeah. Jerry said it was Hal. Good answer. You can tell me who wrote and penciled. Yes, Richie. It was Jack Kirby.
There you go.
Yeah, so you are getting this Magnetic Men and Titans cover, Richie. They're full comics. They're not just covers. Yes, Jack Kirby wrote and penciled both the comic adaptation series and or the adaptation and the series of 2001: Space Odyssey, and they were originally we're going by their actual pub dates. Whether or not that's what they say on the outside of the books, it was originally July 27th, 1976. You'll notice that that's going to be a theme for tonight is a day of the year. So
just remember.
Just remember that day. It's important.
That's where Machine Man came from, right? Was his 2001 series? Wasn't that first appearance of Machine Man?
I don't know. If you know.
Yeah, Machine Man number 2.
Yeah. Ooh.
Or no, I'm sorry. 2001 number 2, I believe.
Is the first Machine Man? Wow.
I believe so.
Awesome. Matt's on the hunt now. Oh, Richie said, "Yay, I've never won anything in my life." Well, Richie, you have won tonight. Yes. And also, we love you.
And more chances to win as well. You could win everything tonight.
You could. This could be your night, Richie.
Yes. Yes.
All right. Want to talk about some comics?
Yes, let's do it.
All right.
Number 8.
Okay. All right. Well, you were still right. 2001: Space Odyssey.
I didn't know there was more than 4. I thought it was a 4-issue miniseries for some reason.
Maybe the adaptation was, but then the series kept going.
That could be it.
I don't know. All right, we're gonna jump into our picks of the week, and it's a massive pile because there was a lot of good books out this week. And I'm gonna start with Lunar Ladies #1 from Scout.
Yes.
What'd you think? Because I know you read this one.
I am not 100% certain on what's going on.
Word.
But the art in this book is spectacular.
The art in this book is spectacular. This is a classic pulp comic. If it was all females forward.
Yes.
Like, it has that voice in it. You can even hear, like, and then this happened. Yes. Like, you have to read it in that voice. If you don't, you're gonna miss half the story because the story is all done in that tone. But it is the story of a planet that is all female. And the queen of this planet has a certain medallion that keeps her safe. Nothing can happen to her as long as she's wearing it. But there is another woman who thinks that the queen is too soft, so we're going to have a revolt, as per usual in these situations. And she is building an army of the worst thing that these people could possibly imagine.
I wonder what it could be.
I wonder what it could be. We won't spoil it for you, but she is building an army and trying to start a revolution, and the queen's solution is to take her daughter down to Earth. And it's such a fun pulp adventure, but that's like the 2 months that I have to wait for issue 2 because it is a Scout comic, so they're going to give us that 2-month wait. I am going to constantly wonder what the heck is going on until I get that because I need to know where this is going very soon.
Yes, I am fully in support of this book. I mean, the art alone is worth the $4, but I am interested to see where this story goes. Absolutely.
And it seems like, and again, it's that classic, like, if you just read, was it Adventure Man? That was like kind of like, hey, what if we did a pulp comic in this time period? But we kind of like talked about it like from the back. This is like, what if we did a pulp comic in like now about the future and it's just females and like the art looks pulp but has that modern like almost like a Bitch Planet kind of mixture to it.
Right.
Really dug the art. Really.
Yes, and this young girl, the daughter, is a very likable character.
She's gonna be a badass. And
yes.
I need to see more of her. I love that she's just instantly the character about Unity, and I want to see what she does with that.
She's a badass with a heart of gold.
Aww.
Yes.
Just like you, Phil.
I don't know about that. I appreciate that, but I am very excited for this one. And Scout usually doesn't disappoint.
No, I think they've been killing it this year, and I can't wait to see where they go. Here, speaking of where things go, and art you love.
My favorite book, one of my favorite books, and we are in volume 2 technically, as we move towards kind of a new storyline, fallout from the first 5 issues. This book continues to get better. I feel like every issue just gets better and better as it goes. And now the story is taking a new turn, and I cannot wait. I just can't wait. I need issue 8 now.
It's seriously it's funny because in the first arc, I was like, they're not really doing anything with any of these other characters, and I guess like those other characters just don't matter. We're never gonna see them again. Like and then issue like 6 picks up the new arc, and I was like, oh, all of those characters suddenly really matter.
Right.
And I thought that they had just fallen. I thought they had forgotten that they had other characters in the story.
Yeah.
And then this arc started, and I was like, oh, okay, we're doing this. All right, now we got a world.
Yes. Now we're gonna see everything open up. There's gonna be a lot of new crazy stuff going on, and I am overly excited.
Overly excited. And you're a huge fan of Casper's art.
Yes. I am. I'm trying to find some more cool pages here, but yes, this is some of the best art in comics right now. And honestly, I think it's just the colors more than anything. The pinks and the blues, it's so appealing to the eyes. But this is a fun story, and it's going to get very wonky and crazy. And I think everyone needs to be reading this book.
And if you don't know what it's about, it's two rival bands that are like, hey, I'm going to come up with the coolest place to have my show, and the other one's like, I'm going to do it. They start out with one band having a show in like a bowling alley, and the other band's like, we got to outdo these guys, so let's go check out the local abandoned house and see if we can do this haunted house show. And the house is abandoned by people, but not necessarily by other things, and we end up with a crazy ghost type story that just kind of unfolds from there, and it's never goes in the direction you think it's going in.
No.
And
the way I explained it to a friend of mine is that it's the haunted house storyline, but if it was on acid and was to a Ramones album.
Yes, that is the best description of that.
Yes. You're not going to get your typical haunted house story. It's going to be wild and crazy. A little psychedelic.
A little bit. And Chad said I should really get the trade paperback for that. We do have Volume 1 in stock. So, Chad, if you do want it, I can get you a copy. Let me know.
Is it an Image $9.99 first trade?
We'll find out in trades later on.
Oh, there you go.
Because I'm pretty sure I brought it. I think it's down there.
Yes,
I see something
it
pink.
is.
Okay. A new number 1 from Boom. So you know it's good. We don't even have to tell you what it is. But it's Dark Blood. This is a number 1 new series, a 6-part mini-series from Boom. I'm going to lead with that from now on because I get sad on my own. I don't know about the rest of you, but I find out from y'all usually that I'm about to be out of books and I get sad. Do you want to tell them what this one's about? I know you jumped into it.
I don't know what this one's about.
Did you read it?
I did, and I know very little.
Yeah.
Because it kind of bounces back and forth in time. There's some words in here I don't fully understand. Like, what's a variance?
A time variance is, if you've seen Loki, you're probably very familiar with this because that is the theme of the show.
I have not.
Right, you need Disney Plus so you can see that. But a variance in time is those time disruptions. So when you talk about, like, something happened that wasn't supposed to or something changed it, it's anything that, a variance is anything that disrupts the norm and creates an alternate version of it. And so in this particular story, we have our lead character I guess it takes place partially like in the wartime period. Mm-hmm. And we have a black man who fought in the war, but then he comes home and instead of being a hero, he's treated like he's still beneath everyone else. Like all the people in the community are just treating him terribly. There's so much racism.
Yeah, it's 1955.
1955, and they're attacking him just for existing. And he keeps telling them, like I'm just walking home. I'm just doing this. Like you get those conversations that we still very much see happening in society. And he keeps saying like I don't want to do anything. Like I don't want to do anything. And then suddenly stuff starts happening around him, and we see this like back and forth of his current reality and then the past of what he's talking about with what Phil was talking about with this variance. This is going to be a very deep book that's going to be action-packed, but also is definitely saying something with every page that you read. Like yes. There is a very heavy conversation mixed in with a lot of deep storytelling and action. So if you like your superhero books to come with a social commentary, and considering we have 23 X-Men subscribers, I know that you do. If you like that, you're going to love this. If you really enjoyed the other history of the DC Universe, that issue 1, that kind of talks about Black Lightning and his being a superhero in that time frame, this feels very similar to that.
Most definitely.
So it's going to be great. I can't wait to see what happens in issue 2 for sure.
I am definitely on board. There's a moment in this where I guess he ejects from his plane and he's slowly going down, and I was legitimately terrified. I was so worried for him. Yeah. Yes. Because there's like moments where you're like, oh, he's going to be fine. Oh, maybe not. And then, yeah.
I felt like every time I thought he was going to be fine in this story, something else happened, and I was like, this guy is never going to be fine.
No. But I love the art in this book, and I'm curious to see where this goes.
And was that one of them? No, okay. Sometimes, like, Black Caravan has those, like, gritty feel covers, and this one looks like it, but it is actually still, like, a glossier cover, but it doesn't have that, like, rougher cardstock feel, like the sketch cover feel.
Right.
It's Boom. You said Black Caravan.
Oh, right. No, Black Caravan has those gritty feel comics. I thought this one was it because of the way it looks. That's what I was saying. Like, it's, so when you look at it, like, especially, like, in this picture, the way, like, when I'm looking off of the film footage of it, it kind of looks like it has that same feel as, like, a Black Caravan book, but it's not. So I decided to touch it.
Dark blue.
And I just felt like I should switch to go with this next because these books align so well. Home. If you are not reading Home, this beautiful, beautiful book is extraordinary. And this is issue 4 of 5. I cannot believe that it's going to end. I guess they said that it's not going to be like the end, but they didn't expect like to just like make this book. And that it would, like, pick up and that they would actually keep going. And so they both, like, took on other projects, like, while they were working on this. And now, like, they have to take a break. So, like, the first arc might be the end or it might be just the end of the first arc. But this is the story of a young boy who he and his mom are trying to immigrate from Guatemala. And when they keep saying that they're going to come live with his aunt. And when they get to the border, they're both put into camps, and he gets really scared, and the way he gets out is he has these powers that activate. And since then, he's been on the run, and the things that in the same way, like with Dark Blood, like the things they're saying about him and the words they're using, they're phrases that we're hearing a lot, and they're conversations that we hear a lot, but they're applying it to like a kid with powers, but also like just this, you know, Guatemalan kid who they're like, he's not supposed to be here, and he's so stressed out because he doesn't speak English and he's lost, and he has these powers, and his mom at this point like isn't around, and he's just trying to figure out who he is, and he just wants to be safe. And it's such an incredible book. And you're going to get your complete story in these 5 issues because they don't know if they're going to keep going. So it is going to wrap up to some extent in the next issue. But they said you're going to get an ending that's very open so that hopefully they can come back. But this issue was insane. And the further and further this issue went along, the more and more, like, you talk about feeling terrified, like you said, for him in Dark Blood. Like, I am consistently terrified for this poor kid. In every turn of the page, I'm like, you feel the anxiety, like, just rolling off of him, like, as you're reading it. Yeah.
I think I skipped this book because of how nervous I was about how... I assumed it was going to be just a real-world, kind of based on nonfiction type story. Something you would get from maybe, like, Fantagraphics more than Image. So I skipped this one, but now I may have to get the trade for this.
Yeah, definitely check it out. It is using that like superhero, like superpowered metaphor for the story it's telling, but it is very much still real world based, and you do get a lot of those feelings, and it's so good. And we talk about with Dark Blood and Home, these are both books that definitely showcase the view outside someone else's window for a lot of us. And I think that that's what's so incredibly wonderful about comic books is that they do, and literature in general, but it does give you that opportunity to understand someone else in the world's plight in a way that you wouldn't necessarily, like, all you can, imagine it. And these books, especially something as intense as Home and Dark Blood, they put you into that story. And you, like you said, like, I was so nervous for him the whole time. And, like, this book, you, like, feel his anxiety. Like, as people are coming after him, you're like, oh my gosh, is he going to make it? Is he going to make it? Like, make me a Netflix movie out of this series because you're going to feel all of it the whole time.
That could be it. I could see this being a Netflix series.
Yes.
For sure. I'm intrigued, and I am also somebody who appreciates the different stories from different people, looking at the world through a different lens. And I appreciate it. I'm glad that books like this are being made.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'll have to get the trade for this one.
Yeah, it's going to be great. Save Yourself, issue 2.
Yes. Boombox, one of my favorites now, I think. Boombox has been putting out great stuff. I really love this book. I read the first issue, and then I immediately bought the incentive cover. Mm-hmm. And all I've been doing is waiting for the second issue, because I have no idea what's going on, but I love the character designs. And I love where this story is going. And then this just solidified it. This issue...
There's so much in this issue.
Yes. It was a lot to take in. This is kind of giving you the world as they're setting it up. Putting you into the story. Catching you up. And throwing you for a loop.
Yeah. When this book was announced on, I think it was on Ross Ritchie, the CEO of Boom's Instagram, I tagged you in it, and I was like, Phil, oh my God.
Yes.
And you were like, I need this. Like, what I'm already in. Like, just give it to me. And so when it came out, I was like, oh man, I can't wait to hear Phil's opinion on it, because it is exactly not what I thought it was, and yet everything I thought it was all at the same time. And so I was like, man, it's so good. If you guys haven't picked up Save Yourself issue 1, this is issue 2, so now's the time to jump in. And it is basically, what if the Sailor Scouts from Sailor Moon came here and we thought they were our heroes, but it turns out they're not the good guys.
Yes, which is so fantastic. Because that first issue, and the main character, or one of the main characters, was a fan of theirs. Mm-hmm. So imagine you live in a world where superheroes are celebrities, and like we already do, we buy all their merch, we own everything, we're huge fans, and then you find out that they don't have your best interest at heart.
Right, not even a little bit.
No.
Like, they are, like, it's all just like a thing against you, basically. And as you find out more and more just how much against you that is, your heart, like, breaks with her. It's like, you're like, no, like, I really thought, like, maybe there was a redeemable feature, but turns out no.
Nope, they're just evil.
And I love the relationships. Our main character, like Phil's saying, who's just absolutely great, because she's kind of that homebody. She fits in where a lot of the people who would be reading this book too, where you feel like, I'd rather just stay home and admire my favorite, characters or celebrities from afar, and I don't really interact with a lot of people in the outside world. Like, she's kind of in that state, and the only relationship she has is with her brother-in-law, because her brother has died, and it's just her brother-in-law that remains. And she calls him her brother, which I think is so cute. I
enjoy that as well.
Like, I was very confused at first that, like, she was like, my brother, and then she's like, he's married to my brother, and I was like, oh, okay, your brother-in-law. You've just accepted this person, like, and your brother is gone, and so this has been like, this is just your brother.
Right.
And I love that they kept that relationship, and he's the one that checks on her, and they have like this best friendship that's just awesome.
Yeah, I was confused for a second because he mentioned that he was her brother.
Yeah.
And then she was like, my brother died. And I was like, wait, okay, hold on, what?
Yeah, I was like, wait, so you have 2 brothers. And then I was like, oh, no, you're married to the brother. Awesome, yes. So it's a brother-in-law. Okay, so that's where we are. Because I was like, okay, wait. But I'm so glad that they, like, cleared that. And it's just such a great relationship. And I love Bear, who owns the shop. Bear is such a great character, and I can't wait to see. I hope we get so much more of Bear, because right now Bear is my character that I need more of.
I feel like every character in this series I'm going to love.
Yeah.
And they're all really likable, and you want to root for all of them.
Yes. Oh, yes. The character, that I don't want to spoil it, so I'm trying to figure out. The character that they meet, that we hear a lot, we learn a lot about in issue 2. They are absolutely wonderful, and I love, did you see the She-Ra show that came out on Netflix?
The new one?
Yeah.
I have not yet.
Oh my god. Okay, first of all, go watch that.
I know,
like, just turn off this and go watch that, everybody.
Okay, I have to go.
But there's a character on there, the Scorpia character on there, for those of you who have seen it. The character in this book that I'm talking about, like, is exactly like Scorpia from there, where they just want to help, and they're just very excited about kind of doing the right thing, even though they, like, maybe I'm on the wrong side, maybe I'm on the right side, I don't really know, but I just really want to do the right thing, and I'm just so excited that we're all here, and we're all friends, and this is so great. And, like, also, like, I might be, like, completely wrong here, but, like, I thought we were all getting along, like, and so I love that personality in the character, and it works so well in this because of their connection to everybody else. So,
also, it's written by someone named Bones Leopard. I feel like that's a plus.
A selling point for you?
Yeah, you don't think so?
No, I think it's a totally cool name.
I would be curious. I'd be like, oh, who's this Bones Leopard?
Yeah.
And they're writing a wonderful book.
Yes. And you need to pick it up. And we have copies of issue 1 and issue 2 in stock. So come grab a copy of Save Yourself. On the complete opposite end of the spectrum.
I also love this book. Black Caravan, yet again. Because they did Ballad of a Broken Heart, right?
They did. Yes. And that graphic novel is in your box.
That's all. Yes, I'm very excited. I'm very excited.
They're also, Matt would be very upset if we didn't mention that Black Caravan is Matt's favorite book, Phantom Starkiller. Yes.
Yeah, that's right. They do Phantom Starkiller. And they have another one coming out. Count Draco.
Yes, Knuckle Duster.
That's the next one. Very excited.
It's still not out yet. For all of you who message me on a weekly basis, it is still not out yet. I did not forget to give you Count Draco Knuckle Duster. It is just not here.
Yes.
Soon.
Also, go to super7.com and you can get the action figure. Because the action figures are super cool. They're the reaction. Isn't that what they're called? They're like the little... Yeah, they're cool.
They're cool. But this is Gods of Brutality. And this is basically, if you took a person who's like, a guy like in Kiss or a band like that, and they like an Ozzy Osbourne, Gene Simmons kind of guy, and they're in that like, oh, we're a band, like straight out of hell, woo, we're awesome. Except this person's very adamant that he is legitimately straight out of hell, and he is.
Yes.
He is straight out of hell. And he comes off the stage and he has an interviewer waiting for him, and the guy's like, oh my gosh, like everybody else has moved on. Why are you still like this? Like, God's brutality straight out of hell. That's not a thing. Rah. And he's like, okay, it's time I tell you the actual story. And then we jump into the story with the interviewer. And so we're basically being told the story like it's frame tell style. And it's ridiculous.
Yes. And it's very funny.
It's very funny.
It is definitely a mature title.
Yes.
But I highly recommend it.
Yeah, all Black Caravan books are not made for children. That is kind of like, it is an adult imprint. And it's this guy, I mean, he's literally chained up in hell. I was talking to somebody earlier today and they asked me what it was and I was like, it's ridiculous. That's my answer. Like, this is ridiculous. And then I started describing it and Matt opens it up and he's like flipping through it. He's like, this book is ridiculous. And I was like, yes, but like not in a bad way. Like, you know, it's supposed to be. Like, they're not, yes. You're not, like, mocking it. It's, like, it knows what it is. Mm-hmm. It's going for that. And you get classic Thor and Hercules. Yes. And I'm so glad when people write Thor and Hercules as the, like, dunderheads that they are. Because they're both terrible. And it's so great to see people who actually, like, write them as just childish brutes. Because that's what they are.
Yes.
Conceited, childish brutes.
Total assholes. And really great. I also love that all the demons consider him a girl. They keep calling him a girl the whole time. And he's just like, I'm a guy. I'm just a rock star. We all wear tight leather pants.
Right. And they keep referencing him as like the lady in the leather pants. Leather pants lady and stuff. And so it's ridiculous. But... yeah. Yeah, I am very curious to see what they do with this title, for sure. I
know roughly where it's going to go, mm-hmm. but I don't know how they're going to get there.
Right, this is definitely about the journey, not the destination.
Yes.
Yeah.
100%, and I'm fully on board.
Speaking of ridiculous characters, Booster Gold is back.
Yes, finally. Finally, DC. I feel like DC is doing a disservice of not constantly having a Booster Gold title in production.
Cool.
And now you give me Booster Gold. You don't seem as excited.
I am not a Booster Gold fan. Gold. I know. He's like their Deadpool to me, so I'm like, I need it it's funny when it's funny, but I don't want a Booster Gold title all the time. But, like, the right writer, it's great. You know? Okay. Like, that's my thing. Like, but I think Booster Gold is great for... And I think Blue Beetle is great. And that's my thing. You have both.
Booster Gold title.
What?
So it's not just Booster Gold?
No, it's Blue and Gold. It is Booster Gold and Blue Beetle. And so...
Oh, yeah, sorry. I was so stuck on the fact that there's
he was just very excited about Booster Gold being
I'm just happy that... Because he fits so perfectly in the world now. You know, this issue features, like, live streams and social media accounts, and it just seems kind of perfect for the character.
I do think we have hit the point in celebrityness of our, like, actual world that Booster Gold... We've, like, arrived at the time that Booster Gold is from. Yes. Essentially. Yes. Like, all of the things that made Booster Gold seem ludicrous and, obnoxious in the past are actually just like what I'm doing right now on the internet. So
yeah, there's a little Booster Gold in all of us.
Aw, isn't that sweet?
And it's even better when they team up. Cause
he needs Blue Beetle to balance him out, in my opinion.
Yes, because he is kind of the wild card, whereas Blue Beetle is more like, no, this has to be strategic. We have to do our research and take the time. Booster Gold, yeah, I guess kind of like Deadpool is just run into battle.
Yeah.
You know, screaming like a banshee but not actually having a plan. And being very egotistical about it. I also do enjoy the little comments from the people who are watching the live stream throughout, kind of making jokes about how it's all staged and making bets on how long he's going to last in this battle.
Can you go back to the cover?
Yes.
Is his phone cover him and Blue Beetle?
Yes, it is. It is.
Oh, that's what I thought. That's fantastic. I know a lot of you have been asking me when this book comes out because you've been waiting for your Blue Beetle and Booster Gold book. And so Blue and Gold is finally here. This is issue 1. We still have a couple copies, so if you didn't ask for it and you need it, speak as soon as possible because I only have a few copies left. You brought this up already, but DC is giving you Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow from Tom King. I am actually behind. I have not gotten to jump in on this, and I'm actually sad that you have and I haven't.
This is where I would say Homesick Pilots is probably my favorite current series going. I think this is the best written.
Ooh.
And it is a different Supergirl than we're used to seeing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, she's drinking and cussing, and it's just being a total badass, which she always is. But now it's kind of like that, very similar to the protagonist in an old Western film, where they're kind of reluctant to go on this journey of helping someone else. But they're like, you know what, I'm a badass, I'll do it, why not? So it's kind of a cross-space journey.
Oh, I like that art. I haven't even opened my copy yet,
You
so
haven't?
I haven't seen it. No.
Oh my gosh, the art in this book is spectacular. Everything about this book is amazing. I think Tom King is going to do Supergirl some serious justice.
And I'm curious because I absolutely loved the Superwoman book from Future State. Mm-hmm. And this is supposed to be the Infinite Frontier, like, lead up to that Superwoman. And so I want to know, like, how this connects.
Yes, as would I.
Yeah.
You can kind of start to pick up and get a feel for where it's going that would allow for that to work. But honestly, I don't want this to connect. I mean, I do, but I also just kind of want this to be Supergirl from now on.
And that's actually how I feel about all of the Infinite Frontier titles. Like, I want that to be like, we know that in the future they are those things, but I don't want them to, like, end right at that. So
yes, I need this Supergirl moving forward. Like, even after this miniseries, give me more Supergirl like this.
Yeah.
Because she's very different, and she's a total badass. And again, this art is just stupidly beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a few pages in this book that are well worth the $5 to me. I may buy 2 copies and rip some pages out and put them on my wall.
Oh, wow. Just to have them up.
Yes.
Wow, that's gorgeous. Yeah, Matt said, because that's from Matt, even though it says Bat City.
Deleted.
Oh, did you? But to answer your question, blue and gold isn't just blue and gold, like Superman is red and blue. And no, it is referencing the Booster Gold and Blue Beetle. So they are the blue and gold.
Why keep the...
What?
Well, you've got 3 other series that also...
Oh,
yeah.
with the colors.
That,
yeah.
right.
But it doesn't have the colors in it. Yeah.
Confusing?
It's a little confusing because you do have, like, the black and white, the red and blue, and then the black and gold. And now you have the blue and gold, but it's not anything to do with the ink colors. So, yeah, that is confusing. That's a good point. Thank you for asking that question so we can reference that.
Seems strange.
I'm going to throw an ending at you, and I'm going to be sad about it.
Oh, yes.
Ugh. Proctor Valley Road has come to an end. I don't really want you to show too much of this book on the inside.
I don't think I'm going to show any of the inside, if that's okay with you.
It's all a spoiler, but if you guys didn't know, Proctor Valley Road has come to an end. This is a great book. I can't wait for you to jump in some trades if you haven't already started reading this book, but this is Grant Morrison telling a story about that haunted road in Everytown and how a group of girls in the 70s dealt with it. That's all I'm going to tell you, because anything else is a spoiler.
Just know that this whole thing is started because they wanted to go see Janis Joplin.
The whole thing.
They needed money to go see Janis Joplin in concert, and it kicks off this entire supernatural, crazy story. It's really great. I think this kind of jumps on the same bandwagon as, the quirky outcast teens against a supernatural force.
Absolutely.
And this one is great. I think the art in this book is fantastic. Naomi Franquez does a great job, and it's Grant Morrison, which is always a draw for me. The creative team on this book just knocked it out of the park.
And Grant Morrison, for a lot of people, makes them think, like, oh, it's going to be highbrow and I'm going to be confused and things like that. And this is not that at all. Honestly, like, if you took Grant Morrison's name off of it, you wouldn't ever think that it was a Grant Morrison book, in my opinion.
And I read it and I'm like, what did he contribute
right.
to this story?
Like, did he just throw the idea at somebody else? Because, like, it doesn't sound like a Grant Morrison book at all, but it does sound like a classic Boom book.
I kind of feel like Grant Morrison was sitting in a room, walking back and forth with his arms behind his back, pitching this grandiose idea, and Alex Child had to put it onto paper and make it more Boom style.
Yeah. I feel like that actually might be exactly what happened. Yeah. I see that as a legitimate solution to how my brain could not wrap around that Grant Morrison wrote this, but yes.
My only gripe with this series is that it ended too soon.
Yes.
And I think because of that, the ending was slightly rushed.
I think it needed at least one more book.
Like, there were a few things in here where I was like, ooh, if only we could have maybe dove into that a little more, or let us see some more of this stuff. I just want more of this.
Yeah.
So.
Right. Seriously, bring it up again. Like, bring out some more. I'm gonna do it really fast. Jed McKay's Moon Knight #1 dropped this week. I'm not gonna go into a lot of detail, but I did want to put it in the picks of the week because a lot of you have been asking, like, and talking about this book. And I've had a lot of people ask me, like, how do they handle this Moon Knight situation? Because Moon Knight is such a big character. And it is actually a lot of conversation with Moon Knight and with Mark. Actually, with Mr. Knight. He's Mr. Knight in this. With his therapist. And he's talking about, they address everything, the different personalities, his work with the Avengers, his work in his community, they even talk about what just happened in the Avengers book, where they had the whole saga where he was basically trying to kill all the Avengers. Like, they went through all of that. So it's really, really good. But if you've been reading Jed McKay's Black Cat or any of his other books that he's been doing recently, you know that he's kind of got that, he kind of has a light air to his tone, and so it doesn't, while it's a really heavy subject matter sometimes, like, or really intense fight scene or any of those kind of situations, like, it still reads really light, and you get it all in this airier feel. And I think it works really well for Moon Knight because he is sitting there having this conversation with somebody, but then, like, it'll flash to him, like, fighting something, and he's like, I'm the protector. And so it's a really, really good balance. And I was, like, interested to see what Jed did with the story, and I think he's going to take it in a lot of really cool places. Okay.
I feel like Moon Knight is that character that has some... Because it was, Jeff Lemire who had a
that
run?
Definitive run. Mm-hmm.
Because that was kind of where I came into Moon Knight, was in that series. And I like what they're doing with the character. Mm-hmm. I didn't get a chance to read this, but it'll probably be one of the few Marvel books that I give a chance to, for sure.
Yeah. Moon Knight. Bouncing back to this, because you said you were going to read it. I don't know if you actually did.
I did. I definitely did. Superman and the Authority. I am always in support of the Authority being in the DC universe. And this time they are teaming up with Superman, and he's an older Superman.
So it's not Jonathan. We're back to
It is
Clark.
not Jonathan. It is Clark. It is an older Clark. This is kind of a Clark who has been through a bunch of stuff and realizes that he made a bunch of mistakes along the way with the Justice League, and now he has to redeem himself by putting together a new team. In this book, you are not going to immediately see all of the Authority, which was kind of a shock to me because it is only a 4-issue miniseries, but he goes and gets Manchester Black, who is such a wonderful character. He's kind of like another Constantine type character, British, and kind of a dick. Okay. No, he's kind of a dick, very egotistical, and also a bad guy too, which is kind of cool. So you're seeing like maybe a darker Superman's gonna come out of this. You know, one who's not necessarily the Boy Scout.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm hoping that this gives me a side of Superman that I've always wanted. And again, it is Grant Morrison. Right. So, you know it's going to be good.
And that's one of those books that got pushed back and pushed back and pushed back, and everybody kept asking me, when is it coming out? So the answer is now. It's here.
Also, new Stargirl episodes, August 10th. I can't wait. I can't wait for season 2.
Radiant Black issue 6 is out. Everybody is loving this series. This is such a great series, and I still have people ask me every day what it's about, so I wanted to just throw that out there really fast. This is the story of starts out as the story of a guy who kind of feels like he's failing at life. He wanted to be a writer. He didn't actually sell his book. He comes home, and he is telling his friend about how he failed, and in the process of doing that, he absorbs essentially a black hole and gets superpowers. And you think that is what the story is about, and it's not at all. So that is how we start our story, and our journey just keeps going bigger and bigger from there. And in this issue, we find out some more about some characters we've seen already who we didn't know who they were. And those little reference points. So I like how they are really, Kyle Higgins working really hard to expand this universe. He could keep this going for forever, like, if he really wanted to, because he is building a bigger and bigger world every issue. Everybody that picks up Radiant Black has just told me this is their book that, like, then becomes, I have to read this first the week it's out. It's absolutely one of those Image super powered books that we don't really see all too often. Super powered books come out of Image, but when we do, they're always very expansive and take a different turn than what we expect them to. And this one definitely did that again. Where you think you're going by issue 3, you think you have the whole story figured out, and the entire thing just takes a complete turn. And so if you haven't picked up Radiant Black, I'm assuming that trades will be coming soon, because this is issue 6 and it feels kind of like we're starting the next arc. So I'm curious when we'll see those trades coming for Radiant Black, but I guarantee that you should definitely flip through it when you come in. This is one of those where every issue goes to a second or third print, because it's just flying off the shelf. So if you have not jumped onto Radiant Black, now is a great time to do that, because we do have that, like, first little bit, and you're still going to be about as in as the rest of us, because things keep changing so fast that even 6 issues in, I'm like, oh my gosh, like, how big are they going to make this, and where is it going to go? Like, this world just keeps getting bigger, and I'm not really sure, like, when we're going to start actually taking on a lot of the subject matter that we keep addressing.
I read the first issue, and someone said he was very much like a Peter Parker type. And
I don't think that at all.
Immediately stopped, and then 3 issues later I said that to somebody, and they were like, no, not at all, this is way better than that. I'm on board, because like you said, superhero books out of Image, like Invincible, tend to be successful and really well done, and Kyle Higgins knows how to write superheroes.
Absolutely.
He definitely does, so.
And I think I saw that Kyle Higgins was on the list for Fan Expo Dallas. So all of you collecting your Radiant Black issues, Fan Expo Dallas.
Were there incentive covers for the first issue, I assume?
I don't know. There is an incentive for this last issue, issue 6.
Oh, okay.
They're pulling 1 in 25s right now, because they are getting some big sales for this book, so every issue seems to have a 1 in 25. Siphon, number 1. This is from Top Cow, out of Image. Which is crazy to see how many Top Cow books are coming out all of a sudden.
Yeah, what's going on? Did they bring it back? 'Cause it was gone for a while.
Right, we didn't really see anything with the Top Cow label for a bit, but now we're getting books like every week from Top Cow. Did you get to read this one?
I did not. This was one that I did not get to.
So this is an interesting book. This is it's another.
Ooh, this art. Sorry,
yeah,
sorry.
The
this
art.
Is...
No, show it all. It's gorgeous. Like, I'm like, show every page. But this book follows a guy who's an EMT, and he actually said that, like, his character is like he's had the rough past. He became an EMT to help make things better. And now he is, something happens. And now I don't want to tell you what, but there is some kind of siphoning power in this book. But you basically siphon the bad from people, and you have to help them experience good. And so it kind of goes into that whole idea that we want to help make other people's problems better, and we always say oh, I wish I could take your pain, I'm so sorry. That's exactly what this book is about. What if you could take other people's pain? And unfortunately, what if you had to? So
that's
it's
intriguing for sure.
It's definitely. Oh my god! Yeah, I know you're gonna die. I can't believe you didn't get to this one because it's. Yes. Oh, it is so good. I know. Siphon. This is one. Yes, Chad just jumped in. I was gonna say this is one that I had a lot of interest to. It's interesting that it's one of 3 mini, meaning you had to order issue 3 before issue 1 even had it. So
really,
I didn't. I don't know. It didn't have issue 3. We haven't actually had that in solicits. I don't believe. I think that maybe I did. I don't know. I don't remember. Chad I only remember ordering. I know it's in the catalog, but I don't actually remember how I ordered it because it's been a while. So that might have been one of those where you could order all of them, but it's good. I want to see more. I can't wait. I was surprised at how I knew it was going to be good because Chad recommended it. Once Chad subscribed to it in advance, I was like, oh, this is probably going to be good. And then, I'm super excited. And the art, like you said, it's extraordinary. The colors on it.
Some of those full page spreads are insanely beautiful. I'm on board.
Yeah. Yes. You have to jump in and read
I guess
that.
I just need to start listening to Chad.
Right. I know. Chad, I don't know if you did an episode of a podcast about any of those, but you need to
Yes.
So that
just message me once a week and tell me what you're picking up.
Actually, Chad, if you want to drop your podcast links in there, because Chad actually does on Twitter tweet about all of the books that he's seeing in the previous catalog and stuff that he's interested in. So, Time Before Time, issue 3. I brought this actually because everybody keeps asking me what it's about. Everybody's like, oh, I'm not so sure. Time travel. What is this? It sounds like just a time travel book. Somebody today was like, is it like Back to the Future? No, it's none of those things. This is all about, in the future, we've created a corporation that, because we do have the ability to time travel, but this is humans, so time travel is discovered, so of course someone corporatizes it, and then they control it, and then they can sell you the right to time travel to different points in time for your health, your safety, or your death, or your family, any of those things, because if that is what we would do in America, is we would definitely capitalize on it immediately and corporatize it. And this is all about a guy who works for that corporation as the person who takes people to where they have to go. Whatever they pay for. His job is ferrying these people to those places. And he hates it. And he's like, you know what? Damn, the man saved the empire. We have to start actually helping people. And they don't want to do that. And he ends up in a situation where he is trying to break free of that. And so it's really the story of this guy who's let's bring down a corporation. Because this corporation is mistreating people and doing all of these terrible things. And if you're into books about people trying to bring down the man, and the man just happens to have time travel, this is actually what that book is about.
I'm not reading this one, but I'm a little intrigued now because his art is very Mignola style.
I can see that.
And I think every comic book based podcast that I listen to at one point has said this is a top book of the year so far.
I can see that too. It's good.
Yeah, a lot of hype around this one. So this will be a trade one for me. I like that it's written by Declan Shalvey.
I'm curious to see where it goes. It's not in my top books, but it is definitely one of those where I'm don't get scared by the name. I think the name is doing it as a service because it does sound like it's just going to be time jump, and all the exterior art, like even the count on the issue makes it look like a time sequence. Mm-hmm. And so everybody kind of that is against time travel is like, ooh, that's not for me. And in reality, like, that hasn't actually, other than the fact that, like, they corporatized time travel, has not really played a part in as much the story as you would think it would.
Okay.
So.
Well, I do love time travel, so.
Well, there you go. I'm going to move these over to here. I wanted to throw out that Chew is back, and this is the second Chew, not the original Chew. So CHEW, Chew, was an Image title for a long time, and this is CHU Chew, which is the sister of the Chew from the original comic.
Really?
Yes, and while he is a detective, she is a criminal. You, as a fan of Spy Island, need to pick up this Chew. She has that same kind of, like, personality as the main character in Spy Island.
Okay, cool.
It's honestly, if you mix Kaiju Score and Spy Island together, like the characters in it, you get this book.
I did love, and I didn't finish all of it, but I did enjoy the original Chew.
Yeah.
I need to hop on board.
This is his younger sister, and we do have the trades, I believe, for the first volume of this. This is his younger sister, and her Chew power comes from eating the same exact meal as you at the same exact time. So if she shares, like, if she goes to a restaurant with you and she orders the same thing, she's casing you. And so she can tell all of the same stuff, like, just by eating the same meal as you at the same time. And that's how she kind of manipulates the situation. This is issue 6. This is the start of the second arc. Like I said, trades are available for the first arc. A lot of people were really confused because they were like, oh, that sounds like the series that came out a long time ago. Because it is. The brother is actually in the first arc.
Okay.
They go to dinner together, and like the family has dinner together, and it's great because you see all of the members of the Chew family, and you get to see what all of their different, like, Chew powers are.
Now, if someone wants to read this, do they need to read the original Chew?
No, I have actually not read the original Chew.
Okay.
I did not even know what the original Chew was until I had already read that, and then they came together in the series, like when they had the dinner with the family, and I was like, oh, this is that other book that I used to see all the time. Okay. And so I was like, well, maybe I should go back and read it, and I still haven't. So if you need to think that you need to read it, you don't. And this is that same, like, fun art that I have noticed is in the other series because it's the same, like, creative team.
Interesting.
Yeah. Shadecraft also ended.
Oh, it's over.
That's it. That's issue 5. Could come back. Definitely open. I believe that we will probably get more. But I think it actually said, now that I said that, yeah, into book 1. So it is going to continue, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to continue immediately. This book is one of those that also had a complete, like, took me further than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be just another, like, a magic using book. But this is a family story about a girl who can manipulate shadows. Her brother is in a coma. She thinks she may have found her brother. It could be a monster. There's a huge family story in here that is amazing. This book has been phenomenal.
Okay. I don't want to go too far.
Yeah.
Because it may spoil.
Yeah, don't spoil things.
The end of this arc.
Second Coming was announced that the Only Begotten Son, this is like volume 2 of Second Coming, it was actually listed in Diamond as the series was canceled. And I got really sad because it'd been months and months and months, and it was listed as canceled. And guess what? It didn't get canceled. It's back. Whatever happened, they decided to keep going. So in this volume, Jesus is trying to figure out who he wants to be. If you don't know the story of Second Coming, it is all about basically what if God decided that he wanted to send Jesus back now to live with Superman, essentially, and learn how to be the hero that he thought he should have been in the first place, because Superman is a cool hero and Jesus wasn't. And what sounds really sacrilegious actually isn't, if you read the book. But this is a really cool commentary on both, like, where we are in as people and how we just really should just be helping each other, and just some of those really cool lessons. Volume 1 is extraordinary. It's one of the best books, and it's Mark Russell.
Yes.
And now this volume is Jesus is kind of like doing his thing and trying to figure it out. He's trying to build the disciples again, and he's like, I just want to make friends, like, kind of thing. And we're still getting that, like, oh, this isn't really how we go. And we've got an agent who wants to take Jesus on and monetize his message, and it's kind of a great conversation about that.
I'm in support.
Yeah, great. Alice in Leatherland, issue 4 is out. This is the most adorable book about BDSM that you're ever going to read.
Is that what it's about?
No, but that's how it was pitched. It is about a couple. Or it's about a girl who she moves to San Francisco and she doesn't know where to live, and she finally finds these roommates, and they actually are like dominatrixes and super into BDSM, and she's so embarrassed by all of it because she's a children's book writer. And she writes fairy tales, and so she's super, like, uptight and just really nervous, and the only job she can find is living in, is working in a sex store. And so she's, like, super always, like, embarrassed when anybody talks about sex, but now she lives with, some dominatrix people, and she works in a sex store, and she's having to date all these people, and she's just, like, losing her mind. And her former illustrator is like the playgirl of San Francisco. Like, everybody, like, she dates every girl in San Francisco and is like, oh, like, she has like a moment where she yells at somebody in this book because they passed out in the house, and she's like, how dare you sleep in my house, like, that's against my rules, like, how you can't stay here, like, you have to leave. And so it's just it's such an interesting dynamic for this girl who's just kind of discovering herself. And she, at the same time, tells the fairy tale stories. Like, after everything that happens to her, she turns it into part of her fairy tale story about a little bug that's trying to figure out its way. It is literally the most adorable story about sex in the world.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's not at all what I was expecting when I saw this. I was thinking maybe another take on Alice in Wonderland.
And it is in that sense because she is, like, the innocent girl, like, right, lost in a new world. But, yeah, I was sold because of the idea of the Alice in Wonderland thing. And, yeah, I love it. Richie, I can definitely get you A Second Coming, Volume 2, Issue 2 and 3. I will look for those immediately for you. That we're going to put over here. Silver City issue 3 is out. If you haven't picked up Silver City, please do, because it's actually super cool. This is what happens when we die, if the underworld, like purgatory, like existed, and our main character goes to purgatory, and it's basically just like the British punk world in like the 80s or 90s. Awesome. And that's who she's like stuck with, and there is all kinds of like dangerous stuff happening in this underworld, and she is trying to help save a little girl who is just in a coma, and her spirit is right now in the underworld, and if she doesn't get out of the underworld in a certain amount of time, she'll get stuck there. And this girl is trying to save this little girl before it's too late, and she's being helped by some British punks. Like, it's great.
I don't know how I missed this one.
I don't either, but you should definitely check it out, especially now that issue 3 is out, because now it's kind of established like what it's doing in the first 3 issues. And this was one of those like where I was like, okay, where are we going in issue 1? And then in issue 2 I was like, oh, we're building some really great characters. And then now I was like, oh, and there's the story. Got it. So we kind of do like what's going to happen in issue 1, this is who it's happening to, and now we kind of got a story. So if you haven't checked it out, now's the time to jump on.
I think maybe it's because it came out closely to Silver Coin.
And confused the crap out of people. And for a while, I think issue 1 came out like the very next week after Silver Coin. I think it actually still is the week after Silver Coin every week. So it's very confusing. Did you get to read Bermuda?
I did not.
Oh my gosh. Bermuda is so cute. This is an IDW book. And it is a rich kid and his sister are in a plane, and they crash land on an island. They call it the Triangle. And a young girl saves him. and brings him, but she does not save the sister. The sister is like captured by these creatures. I won't tell you too much about them, but they are he's saved by this young girl whose name is Bermuda, who lives on the Isle of the Triangle. And so you get Bermuda's Triangle. This is it's gonna be such an expansive world. It's gonna be such a cute book. I love her as a character already. I love that we're getting like that George of the Jungle kind of mentality, but from an educated girl on an island. What was it, Nim's Island or whatever it was? It feels kind of like that book mixed with that movie mixed with George of the Jungle. But she's she's already a badass. And she's just like, why can you not do this? Like, why don't you get this? Like, do you have any books? Do you have any... Like, she's like, save the wreckage and any books you can find. Do you have books? And I'm like, I love that she's like, instantly like, save the books. So I'm 100% in on this book. I can't wait to see more.
Well, the creative team especially, so you have John Layman, who did Chew. And then the art is Nick Bradshaw.
And the art
is insane.
Can I...
Oh, most definitely.
First of all, look at this.
Yes, yeah.
These, this artwork on there, and I know I'm stretching completely across the thing, but this is...
in the pile of books?
Yes, this was in the pile. I don't know how you missed it, but this artwork is extraordinary, and it's so hyper detailed. It made me think, Matt, of Leviathan artwork style.
Didn't Nick Brad? No. Wasn't Nick
No,
Brad
that's Nick
Patara.
Nick Patara.
Nick Patara.
Yeah.
That's who it was.
I love this.
Yeah, this is so good. I thought of you with both of you. Actually, I was like, between the art and the story, I thought both of you guys would really love this book. It's so good. So, and it's good for kids. I'm sorry, did I just put it down too soon? I'm sorry. I can't see when I stretch across. My bad. But it's good for kids. It's good for adults. Like, there's a lot of reading in some parts, and then like a lot of really cool graphics and art. 2 big books for me this week. Reptile number 3. I can't express enough how good Reptile is, and I see a lot of hate on the internet for this book for no justifiable reason. People are just like, this book, and then you ask them like why. You see people asking like, why don't you like it, and they don't have a reason. It's a great book. It's perfect for all ages. Again, it has teen protagonists. Reptile is an amazing character who he's got his superpower. He can turn into any dinosaur he wants.
Which is such a cool superpower.
It's the coolest superpower. He can turn into any dinosaur. And he doesn't know, like, because we just came off of the Kamala's Law where, like, the kids weren't supposed to, like, nobody was supposed to use their power. They were watching all the teens. And he's worried about his family. His parents are missing, have been, like, most of his life. He's living with his aunt and his grandpa. And he's and his cousins. And it's such a good family book. It's a good like coming of age story. It's a good understanding your superpowers story, and it's that classic adventure of we're going after the bad guy. The bad guy is the opposite of me kind of thing. Like, this is your classic superhero origin story, with so much modern heart and family story, and an extremely powerful Latinx story that we're not seeing in a lot of characters. We talk about this a lot, that there's not really a lot of Latinx superheroes, and we don't have like the family life for a lot of them, and this one really takes that on. And I absolutely 100% recommend this book to everybody to read.
I have always been a big fan of the Marvel teen characters. I don't remember where Reptile came from. Like Avengers Academy.
He was in Avengers Academy.
Okay. Mm-hmm. That's where I was thinking he was from. I'm on board. I always like when they do those fun teen books.
I want to see this. Yes, I do still have one left. This extraordinary cover that we got. This is the variant cover. And it is so freaking gorgeous. I love this. Love this cover. And I have this one left of it. But if you need a copy of Reptile, grab this cover. It's so stunning. Oh my gosh. I love watching you slow zoom over it. Oh my gosh. And this is a huge shout out to Rodney and Juan, our subscribers, because they mentioned this book when it was first announced, and they were like, we need this, everybody's gonna want it. And I was like, I'm gonna read it, because they're pushing it like real hard, saying it's gonna be real good. And then I read it, and I was like, oh my god, everybody needs to read this book. It's fantastic. So that's only issue 3. We have 1, 2, and 3, so if you haven't jumped in on Reptile, this is a really great time to do it, and it's a great way to get into another Marvel character that you might not have checked out yet.
Something different from the 80 years of everything else.
Yes.
No, wait, that's DC's
that's
80
DC.
years.
We're at like 60 years.
60 years.
Yeah.
They sure did those 80th anniversary pops.
Didn't they?
Marvel
yeah, that's what I was about to say.
Yeah, but Captain America
80th anniversary of Atlas.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Right, because Captain America's just hitting 80 right now.
Marvel's calling it that.
Yeah.
Of course they are.
And lastly, Mom. This is Mother of Madness. It is from Emilia Clarke, who played Daenerys Targaryen on Game of Thrones. And usually when a celebrity writes a book, I'm like, oh, I don't know how I'm going to feel about that. And this is Amelia working with Marguerite Bennett, who wrote a phenomenal Batwoman run, if you haven't read it yet.
Great creator.
Great creator. And I was like, okay, well, I'm already sold on the fact that Marguerite Bennett's name is on it. Yes. Like, you're good. I'm going to love it. And the two of them working together to create this book, it's such a good book. This is a 3-part series. I just held up 2 fingers. This is a 3-part series. And they're oversized books, so they're $5.99 because they are thicker. And when I first started reading this today, I was like, ooh, I wonder what this is going to be about. And it is about a single mom. And it is about a single mom who has powers. And what I absolutely love is this is for female readers and for non-female readers or non-female identifying readers who want to who are allies to that cause, who are just wanting to find the view outside the window of somebody else. This is definitely like a great book to pick up, because this does, like, there are all of these moments where she basically talks about how everybody, they've called her irrational, and they talk about how, her hormones are just out of control and all of this stuff. But it is that, like, hormone out of control moments, as people refer to women, that make her powerful. That's where her powers come from. Like, her powers are activated by being angry or sad or this or that. And she learns to channel that to make that. And I love that it's basically saying, like, all of the things that society says are what's wrong with you because you're a woman are actually what make you powerful. And in it, it's kind of one of those situations where, as the characters are talking, like, especially as the male characters are talking, what they're saying is actually you actually hear it out loud, like, in the way that, like, what we hear. Like, honestly, like there's a point where the boss is like, oh, well, don't forget, you're out of dress code because blazers aren't allowed by the dress code. And it's like, ... And then it's like, because it makes a better work environment when we can tell your cup size. And it's like, those are the things that, like, when you say them and women can hear what you actually mean, and by the way you act and the way you're saying it and the way you're doing these things, like, and so instead of it being like, oh, it's open for interpretation, that's just, like, how the words come out. And BJ brought up that Amelia's letter in the back is a great way to establish her nerd cred and very encouraging for the next 2 issues. And she does talk about, like, one of the things that made me respect the book and Amelia even more is she flat out says in her letter, I didn't know about comic books, really. But then I played all of these characters that made me have to go to Comic-Cons. And you can't go to Comic-Con after Comic-Con after Comic-Con without going, what is this? What is this? I'm interested. I'm here. I'm surrounded by comics. Like, I'm going to pick some up. And she dove into comics, and she started learning more and more about them, and was like, wow, this is extraordinary. And it does give you that view outside someone else's window. And there is, and she said, I'm sitting at these conventions, and I'm picking up these comics and I'm reading them, and like, there's all these women, but where's their representation? And there's all these creative women, but they're not on the con floor. And we're not seeing, like, all of the strong, powerful women who are creating these, like Marguerite Bennett. And I've had this conversation so many times in the store this week alone. Like, people keep saying, how come I can't ever find the female creators at Comic-Cons when I go? And it's like, well, a lot of them won't go because they're so mistreated.
Yeah.
Like, I know both of the Kellys, like Kelly Thompson and Kelly Sue DeConnick, both talk about, like, it's really hard to go to it's really hard to go to conventions because of the way that people respond to them and the way that they're treated when they're there. And so she's like, I thought about that and was like, I'm going to write a book that's just for them. And if everybody else wants to jump on it, then cool. But if they don't, like, this is for that readership that's so strong that doesn't actually get the attention they deserve. And there's one scene in here where she's having she's talking about her, like, the powers and the fights and all of these things. Here you go, sir. And it says, every woman has that voice in her head. The voice that says, you're too old, too young, too fat, too skinny, too ugly, too pretty, too messy, too neat, too needy, too cold. The voice that says you're both too much and never, ever enough. You know what, voice? I heard you. Now fuck off. Nice. And I was like, well, this just became, like, my favorite book. I love that because it's so true. That's constant, like, what you're hearing is like, oh, well, and it's that damned if you do, damned if you don't. Like, whatever you are, it's not right. And getting that, like, and feeling powerful enough to say fuck off to that voice, and then using all of those things that everybody say you're not enough of or you're too much of, and taking it and saying, that's what makes me powerful, and now I'm going to use it to fucking destroy all of these bad things in this world.
Fuck yes.
And I'm sold. I was like, all right, Amelia, Marguerite Bennett, you got me.
No.
That's exactly what I wanted in a fucking comic book. Thank you. And here it is.
Yes. Also, if this sounds interesting to you, please jump on this. It is a spec book for some reason. I assume it's because an actor is attached to it, so they're probably thinking it's immediately going to be optioned. So if you actually want to read this book, please go out and pick it up.
And also go out and pick it up because if more people pick up books that are about things like that, then maybe we'll get more books about females and female empowerment and female creators and creative teams. So, and the same thing with Reptile. Buy Reptile. Buy copies of it. Buy books that are by these diverse creators because we need to support them so the publishing industry knows that it is what we want. I hear so many people say, like, oh, why aren't there more books like that? And I'm like, well, I don't know. You only bought the same books that you always bought today. Yeah. Or you're picking up the same books that people have been picking up since the 90s. And that's cool if that's what you like. But if you want to see more of those other voices and those other characters and those other stories, buy it when it's there.
Also, I know this sounds crazy and I know people have budgets, but sometimes buy multiple copies. I know that's crazy to think, but there have been books, like anytime they launch a Legion of Superheroes book, I will always buy 2 covers at least. Because these major companies, they're looking at sales. And if the sales don't line up with what they want, those books are going to get canceled. Mm-hmm. So when you go into your shop and you're like, oh, why did this book get canceled? No one else is reading it. And
pre-order it. Go to your shop when it's in the previews catalog, whether that's us or somebody else. Go to your LCS when that previews catalog is out and say, I want to subscribe to this. I want to pre-order it. If I can't, like, whatever I can do, like subscription, pre-order, however you want to do that, get in on those things as soon as you know that that's something you want to support, because that is a number that speaks. Those numbers are the numbers that they're looking at. When we do that initial order 2 months out, that says to the publisher, this is a book that people want. So if you can pre-order it, if you can subscribe to it at that previews catalog moment, that's going to say to the publisher, print more of this book. Make more of this book. We want this book. So get that previews catalog. Go to your store, ask to see it, buy it, like subscribe to the previews catalog, whatever it is, and then turn around and actually say, I want these books. And also, in general, tell your LCS, I want these books. Because if you pick up a book off the wall and you don't tell your LCS you want issue 2, they're not going to order issue 2. And you're not going to get issue 2, and that's going to go down, and those books are going to cancel. It is usually around book 3 that things start to get canceled because those numbers drop. We're ordering issues 2. I ordered every book that we talked about today on this live stream. I ordered the next issue of tonight before I even actually came to this live stream.
I saw her do it.
I actually, without knowledge of whether or not any of you liked a lot of these books, had to order the next issue. So if you don't say, oh my God, I love that book, I need it, stores are dropping those orders down. You know, we sold 27 copies of Moon Knight, but how many people just picked it up because it was a number 1, and how many people want to keep going?
Right.
I have to magically know that unless you tell me. So if you want to make sure books keep getting ordered and stay on those shelves at your stores, talk to your LCS, subscribe at your LCS, make sure they know what it is that you're liking and that what you want. Pre-order it, subscribe to it, keep in communication, because your LCS doesn't know what you want, and what they don't know, they don't order, and what they don't order, publishers cancel. So order, pre-order, subscribe, save the books, read them all. It's how you do it.
And also, don't hesitate to post 1 million tweets tagging whatever publisher it is. I mean, you know, we've talked about it before. Ross from Boom, I mean, he listens to the fans. So if you say, hey, we need more of this, he'll do it. And there are people at Marvel and DC who also see those tweets and compile it and put together that information for publishers as well. So just annoy them and constantly tag them. You know, if you want more Reptile, just tag Marvel every 5 seconds.
And thank your creative team. Speaking of tagging people on the internet, if you are liking something, tag that creative team and tell that creative team, I'm liking it. Especially when it comes to those indie books, because they're paying for that. They are putting up that money at Image and those other indie, like, publisher, they're creator-owned titles because the creator literally is paying for them. They're owning those rights. They're paying for it. Let them know, hey, I'm so glad you made this. Please keep doing it. And tag them in it and tell them you like it. And tweet about it. Post it on Instagram. Whatever social media you use. Talk about it. And tag them in it. They want to hear that because that's why they're doing it. They're doing it, yes, for their own enjoyment. But they also want to know that you enjoyed it too.
Yes. I remember when Marvel was putting out, they relaunched Great Lake Avengers. Very briefly, and there was the guy who was writing it, Will Robson. Every issue that came out, I tweeted him, and by issue 3 or 4, because it got canceled early on, he sent me this nice message and was like, dude, I greatly appreciate you talking about this book. I've always wanted to write the Great Lake Avengers. For whatever reason, that's what I wanted to write. He was like, I'm so stoked that you love this book, and I can't wait to hear how happy you are that they're putting out the Great Lake Avengers. So, yes.
And,
let them know.
The girl from Scout, who did Soulstream.
Yes.
She's
only 17.
And we didn't know that until I posted an Instagram post about Soulstream, how great it was, and they wrote back, oh my gosh, this is my first thing. I'm 17 years old. I didn't think anybody cared. I didn't think anybody read it. Thank you so much. This means the world to me. Like, sent me a message that said that. And I was like, oh my gosh, Phil, they're 17.
I know.
This is incredible. So you never know how much you're, like, affecting their life as much as they're affecting yours. So tell your creative team you love them.
All the time.
All the time.
Yes.
Let's give these people something for listening to us talk. Prize! No, that's not what we're doing. All right. I've got a copy of a Blue Beetle book and a copy of a Spider-Man 49, which is legacy number something ridiculous. 850. 850. I looked on the side. Ooh! So if you want a special anniversary edition of Spider-Man, which happens every 50 issues, but this one was super cool. I actually did look through this one. It was awesome. Thank you, Matt. A special anniversary issue of Spider-Man, legacy number 850, otherwise known as issue 49 of Nick Spencer's run. And this Blue Beetle, you have to tell me the answer to, I'm going to hand you this so I can look at my prize, or my questions. What centuries-old enchantress first appeared in Wonder Woman number 37. This book also technically came out on July 27th, 1949, if that helps you know which Wonder Woman.
49.
49. Wow. What centuries-old enchantress first appeared in Wonder Woman number 37? If you can tell me that, you can get this Spider-Man number 49, a.k.a. 850, and Blue Beetle from the New 52. You are going to get both if you can tell me what centuries-old enchantress first appeared in Wonder Woman number 37.
Also, yes, Chad, I agree. The fact that not every single person that walks into a comic book store every week that does not look at a previews catalog blows my mind.
Yes, Nigel, you are getting these prizes. It was Circe, classic Greek mythology character. You are getting ASM 850 and this Blue Beetle book.
This cool variant cover with Venom.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, that came out Wonder Woman number 37 back in 1949. Ba-da-da-dum, ba-dum. In stocks. All right, we are going to fly through these real fast because Samantha Stevens, Jerry, you're my favorite. I love that. And the answer to all witchcraft questions is Samantha Stevens, in my opinion. She is the supreme witch. Jerry said, oh, Circe, that makes way more sense. All right, so we're going to blow through these really fast. Marjorie Finnegan, Temporal Criminal, number 3 is out this week.
3 of 8.
3 of 8. This is Garth Ennis writing for AWA Upshot, so you can take your drink. Beckstar, number 3 is out. This is a fun adventure story about a woman trying to save her love and the universe at the same time. Project Patron, what happened if Superman had lost to Doomsday and the world didn't want you to know that?
Wait, is that really what it is?
That is really what it is.
Whoa.
It's just not called Superman. He's called Patron. But the Superman lost to Doomsday, and the government doesn't want anybody to know that, so they build a fake Superman like robot, and there's a team of people who who work on the different parts of there's the guy whose job is to be the abuser, and he goes in and he fights the big bad guys, and then there's the one that's runs into the burning building kind of Superman, and then the one that helps get the cats out of the tree kind of Superman. Yeah.
So it's very Return of Superman.
Yeah, it's if all of them, instead of them being different Supermen, like the Reign of the Supermen, instead of them being different characters, they're all actually a team of humans who are piloting a suit.
Okay.
Minky Woodcock, the girl who electrified Tesla. I love this book. It's fantastic. I would not have thought that I would ever say that. But this is all about a girl trying to solve some problems back in the Tesla days. Destiny New York. This is a webcomic turned actual comic all about what happens when you go to a magical school for kids who have prophecies about them. Everfrost. This is a crazy book that's super high sci-fi in the future. And the snow. Superman Red and Blue. This is an anthology series of fun Superman stories. All done in red and blue. What?
With crypto this time.
That one has crypto in it?
Really?
Did you say G. Willow Wilson wrote one of those?
Yes.
Nice.
G. Willow Wilson is in that one.
Heartfelt crypto story.
Sweet.
I have really enjoyed Superman
Red
and Blue.
Yes.
It's been a ton of fun.
It has been so good. Again, the one about Martha with her friends at the table when she's talking about adoption made me freaking cry.
It's the human side of Superman.
Steak. This is a really ridiculously amazing vampire story from Scout Comics. I love it. This is all about a girl who's partnered with vampires and she has to stop bad things from happening. Truth and Justice number 6. This is the Damien story of the Truth and Justice. The next one is Zatanna. I ordered it today. Yes, I got a lot. Nightwing. Oh, you guys love it. You don't need me to tell you that you love it. But the same as with New Mutants. You're all loving it, obsessed with it. Aliens issue 5 came out. This was confusing because Aliens Aftermath came out last week and people thought that was the end of the Alien series, but Aliens Aftermath is by Benjamin Percy and this is Philip Kennedy Johnson. They're 2 different series, both about aliens, both in the same universe. Captain Marvel is back. Finally, this is a Peach Momoko beautiful cover.
Anime variant.
And Guardians of the Galaxy has a Groot one.
Anime variant.
From Peach Momoko. Excuse me. Eisner Award-winning cover artist, Peach Momoko.
Yes.
You should, if you haven't seen the cute picture that Peach Momoko did on her Instagram of being the cover artist winner, it's super cute. It's got a little Erica Slaughter and a little wind in it. It's super cute. Eros and Psyche, issue 5. That is a Marie Lovett story. X-Men Legends, also a thing that everybody is reading and loving, those classic 90s stories. Undiscovered Country continues. Charles Soule not getting the love he deserves, ever. Thor Infinite Destinies, this is the annual for Thor, but it connects to the Infinite Destinies story that connects to the Black Cat run that is about to start.
Not Dottie.
Not written by Donnie. It's written by the people writing the Infinite Destinies stuff.
Is he still writing Thor?
Yes. What did I just hand you? Oh, Miles Morales. I just brought this one because I love this Captain America cover. It did come out this week, but...
is he Cap now?
No, it's the 80th anniversary of
that's
Captain
right.
America. Woo!
80 years of Marvel.
I got it, don't worry. 80 years of Captain America, not 80 years of Marvel.
I'm just going to say 80 years of Marvel.
Skybound X, celebrating 10 years of Skybound, which is crazy to imagine.
Woo woo.
Marauders is back. It continues. And it's amazing, still. I haven't.
We have a ways to go.
Yeah, Gamma Flight is there. It's back. It's awesome. Issue 2, I believe. Usagi Yojimbo. Eisner Award-winning Usagi Yojimbo.
Yes, that's right. Best letter as well.
Yes. And a thing. Yes, BJ, you can get X-Men Legends in your box. Sorry, we missed that X-Men Legends for you. I should write down BJ so I know who I'm talking about. Trailer Park Boys. I don't know anything about Trailer Park Boys, but they have a comic book.
One of the guys' names is Bubbles, I think.
Murder Hobos. Issue 2. It's crazy. Philadelphia. Eisner nominated Philadelphia, but did not win. Right. Jupiter's Legacy, Requiem. If you guys watch the Jupiter's Legacy show, the comic continues just for you. Tales from Harrow County. This is a continuation of the Harrow County book. Deadly Class 47. I can't believe Deadly Class is still going on. Rick Remender just keeping those books going, except for 7 to Eternity, which he still has not finished.
The one that I need him to finish.
Yeah,
finish. On
a daily basis, I have at least one person tell me, I'm just waiting on 7 to Eternity 17. And I'm like, cool. Black Hammer Reborn. Thank you. Yes,
sorry.
we were still talking about Deadly Class.
Said it.
No. Black Hammer Reborn. Sorry, we're going back.
I'm so focused on my arm being tired.
Champions 8. Legends of the Dark Knight issue 3 is out, and that's Duella Dent on the cover. Always a fan of Duella Dent, Joker's daughter in there. Oh, not that, that's last. I brought these. We have a lot of incentives in stock, and people keep asking, we don't really show them anymore, but people keep asking me what the giant stack on the counter is, so I thought I'd bring some of them. This is a special Power Rangers cover for issue 9.
I forget who does this art. There's an artist who does these, is popular for the rainbow covers.
Nice. I like it. God's Brutality 1 in 10.
Sorry, I just had to make sure I didn't want it first.
Right, Phil was like, you guys can't see it.
Yeah, hold on.
Sinister War. This is the incentive variant for Sinister War. The 1 in 10 of Proctor Valley Road, issue 5.
Hey.
This is actually, I believe, the first Skybound X. This is the 1 in 25 for that with Rick Grimes 2000. Also out last week, 7 Secrets number 10's a special cover. And the Magic Unlockable cover, and these don't get enough attention for how beautiful they are. Skybound X issue 2. We've got a couple of 1 in 10s. We've got that one.
I thought that was Scotty Young for a brief moment.
And that one. And then Proctor Valley Road also has a Virgin variant, and we have that in stock as well. And these are those Christian Ward art.
Yes.
I know.
John, if you're here you go.
Am I allowed to show this? Save yourself 1 in 10 incentive. I don't know.
Yeah,
if
this one's already claimed, but you can take a look at it.
You can look at this book that Phil's gonna buy today.
Yes, only because I have to have everything for Save Yourself.
Oh, it's so good. You were asking about incentives for Radiant Black. Here's the issue 6 and 1 in 25.
That's nice.
Yeah, I like that cover a lot. And Lunar Ladies had a 1 in 10.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And last but certainly not least, Brian Lasseter mentioned this earlier in the stream, but Walking Dead issue 19 is out. This is Walking Dead Deluxe, so these are the color reprints of The Walking Dead. And if you did not see it yet, this is the first appearance of Bat City comic professionals in a comic book.
Are you serious?
I am serious. Every 6th issue of Walking Dead Deluxe gets new letters, and there is a letter in the back from Brian Lasseter and Tom McElroy. Sorry, I always say your name wrong, Tom. Shouting out Bat City Comics.
You should read it.
I will. I can't hold it up and read it at the same time. It says... a shout out to our awesome LCS Bat City comic professionals who donate all their profits towards child literacy programs. How cool is that? Raw on, Brian Lasseter and Tom McElroy, Austin, Texas. And it gets a response back that says, we love local comic shops for many reasons, and this is a very good one. So, first appearance of Bat City comic professionals in a Walking Dead comic, or any comic, but here we are with a response from Kirkman and team. So, and this is actually the reprint of this is a color reprint of the first issue of First Appearance of Michonne.
Oh, there you go.
So, of all the issues to get into, getting into the First Appearance of Michonne is definitely the one that I would choose.
A double key for the Bat City fan.
A double key, yes. And Bram, I am writing down that you want the Usagi and the Nightwing book. So thank you once again, Brian and Tom, actually, for sending that in and getting that Bat City mention, and for loving us and sharing your lives with us. We appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Brian is a wonderful human being.
That's true. And so is Tom. I don't know if you've met Tom, but you should, because he's awesome.
Okay. Well, I'll go to lunch together.
There you go. Prize! I forgot to do it that time. I'm already slacking on my thing. My sound effect, and I'm slacking on it. I'm going to give you a copy of Alien #1, the Philip Kennedy Johnson story. This is the second print. And Cable #1. And I have to flip back to my questions, because I'll switch pages.
How cool would it be if Cable fought aliens?
Ooh, I'm here for that. Thank you. I'm just going to sound to myself for the rest of the show. Alright, you can get this if you can tell me in what comic, and I need the name of the comic and the issue, that's not what that says at all. Sorry, in what comic and issue number, did Talia al Ghul and Batman get married? There's no words in that question. They're all missing. In what comic, name of the comic and issue, did Talia al Ghul and Batman get married?
Do you see Gomez's comment?
Gomez would like Trailer Park Boys. Yes, I did see that. I will add that. I thought you meant Gomez already answered the question, because I assume that Gomez will get it because it's a Batman question. Trailer Park. That sounds really, I just wrote Gomez Trailer Park, which sounds totally cool that you have your own trailer park. But in order to win these prizes, if you can tell me what comic, and I need the name of the comic and issue, were Talia al Ghul and Batman married in. I need to know the name of the comic and the issue number. It came out in 1978, and its publication date is technically listed as July 27th, in case you guys didn't catch the theme of the questions. It's actually like the cover might actually say October in the end, I think, because publication dates are weird.
Yeah.
So, what comic name and issue number were Talia al Ghul and Batman married? It probably like the first time. I'm sure they've been married more than once, but I don't know.
I don't know.
I think it's only the one time, but it's such a great thing that gave us all kinds of interesting stories.
I only remember the marriage between Batman and Catwoman in the Brave and the Bold series, but I don't think that was the main DC Earth that they got married in.
Gomez, I might give you that. It's technically got a different name, but You're right, because that is the story arc name. So I'm like, we're just going to probably call it good. It was the DC Special Series, and the story arc is Son of a Demon. I believe, I'd have to double check, but it's DC Special Series number 15 from 1978, and I believe that was the story arc name. I'm going to call it close enough, because why not? I'm in the mood to give away prizes. So we're giving you this, Gomez, but it was the DC Special Series. And you're getting this cable book and the Alien book. Congratulations, Gomez, for that. Matt's got the prizes. All right. And can I get the wine bottle?
Oh, yes.
I don't know if you can reach. It's way over there. I'm just going to fill it. Woo! Trades. Oh, thank you, Gomez. I try.
This
I don't
wine
know.
is really good.
It's really good. Do you want some more?
No.
Maybe?
I feel like I'm 3/4 of the way towards a Matt rant, so.
Well, there's lots of reasons for that.
I should slow down.
3/4 of the way. I like that you have like a percentage that you are to a Matt rant.
I can see it in his eyes, and I almost feel like maybe to some like empath level, I can sense where he's at. And I feel like my eyes are starting to reach that point.
I don't know what's funnier, your whole thing or the fact that Richie said he didn't know the answer to that question because at that point he had discovered girls. But now he's back to comics. I love that, Richie. Speaking of comics, trades in stock, we have Dracula Motherfucker in stock right now. This is an Image title. It's a hardcover. It's awesome. People have been asking me what this is about, and I actually haven't read it because it's in plastic, so I can't tell you.
I actually read this.
Oh, good.
It is a wonderful book. Alex DeCampi is the writer on it, and she did... I also met her at a con. She was extremely nice. She did Archie vs. Predator.
I love.
And then it is drawn by Erica Henderson, who did Squirrel Girl.
Oh, man.
She was the Squirrel Girl one. It is essentially a group of women... I believe. I think it's 3 women who were previously Dracula's brides who are now going back to get revenge and kill him.
I have multiple copies, so when I say I'm going to take this one, don't worry. There are still copies for you.
It is a wonderful book. I feel like it was a bit short, but Erica Henderson's art is super awesome.
Nice. So
also, it's called Dracula Motherfucker.
It's called Dracula Motherfucker. So you need this. Werewolf by Night we have in stock. I know this is a Moon Knight week. So Werewolf by Night just seemed like a great trade to bring. Just a reminder that that's a thing. This is the new Werewolf by Night, though. Don't be confused. I still don't know what the name of this book is because I can't read it. I couldn't read it when I got it, like when I ordered it. And so it's a space book.
That's awesome.
It's super cool. Yeah. Tiny size.
You're gonna love that.
Tiny size trade.
Do you have multiples of these?
I do. I think you want it. Phil's just gonna shop after we finish the stream.
It looks cool.
I brought Kaiju Score because in case you didn't know, Kaiju Score is gonna have a film. What? Yes, they have a director already assigned to it. I think is what I sent you this week. So super exciting. I know that's technically movie.
Or a writer.
A writer. One of those.
The two. Yeah.
They've got a team. It's some people working on it. I'm very excited. If you don't know what Kaiju Score is about, this is what if Ocean's 11 met Godzilla essentially.
Yes. Let's attempt a heist during the middle of a kaiju on land.
Yes.
What more do you want?
I don't need anything else. And they're also, the Ocean's 11 team is terrible. It's all the people that they did not choose for Ocean's 11, which makes it even better.
Yeah.
All right. This is the complete collection of What If, Volume 1. This is... Everybody keeps talking about how excited they are for the What If animated show. This is all the classic What If book in a epic collection.
1 through 12.
1 through 12? Mm-hmm. There you go. Thanks, Matt. Baby Teeth Volume 1. Donnie Cates. I'm going to keep bringing this because you're going to keep talking about how Baby Teeth is out. So, before it finishes...
It is in the 50% off section.
That there is a 50%. That is the 50% off one?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
That's what I'm saying. So you're only paying like $7 for this book.
This is actually going to be the half-off copy of Homesick Pilots because this issue is damaged.
There you go.
Huh?
That's Matt's copy.
Is it Matt's copy? It
Not
is now. Matt's like, it is. But we do have other copies of Homesick Pilots. This is trade number 1. I know, Chad, you said you need to jump on that. This is it. How much is that what if is what Gomez would like to know.
Let's find out. It is $39.99.
Matt knows his epic.
And you get
collection.
a 10% discount if you come to Bath City.
Word. Homesick Pilots, pick up Volume 1.
Yes.
Speaking of Volume 1s that everybody needs in their collection, and Christian Ward, as we talked about earlier, Black Bolt Volume 1. This is Saladin Ahmed and Christian Ward, which is a creative team you cannot do wrong by. They are extraordinary, both of them, at what they do, and this is a Black Bolt story that is just phenomenal. Everybody needs to read it. Pick it up. Also, can you just show that picture of little Black Bolt with little Lockjaw? Because it is the most adorable thing.
I will say this. I know not much about the Inhumans or Black Bolt, but I read this series and it was good.
Black Bolt is one of my top 5 favorite characters in all of comic books. So
there you go.
I 100% think you should read it. Speaking of characters I love, Black Widow. This is a really, really great run on Black Widow. And we're going to talk about more great runs on Black Widow in just a second. So don't spoil it in the comments, BJ. I want to say it out loud. Mini Marvel trades. These are the Marvelverse trades. This is a Loki trade. These are all $10.
Yes.
We got the Wanda and Vision one back in stock. Get prepared with the She-Hulk one. I believe there is a Doctor Strange one to come.
Shang-Chi?
And there is a Shang-Chi one, but I think I actually put that on the wrong shelf, so I didn't see it. And lastly, this is the only trade that is technically new this week, and the one I have been telling you that you needed to read for the last year. Bliss trade is out. This is issues 1 through 8, which is the complete run of Bliss. Read this book, please. It is so good. This is all about a son who is trying to defend his dad in court. His dad was a drug dealer, but it was like the gods created a drug that made you forget everything and like live in a state of bliss, and the dad was the one who was dealing it, and he is on trial and his son is defending him, but not in the way, not dismissing what he did, but talking about how he got to the places he did. And then you see the dad's reaction to all of that. It is a freaking beautiful story, and I am going to let Phil show you some of this art really fast because it's extraordinary.
Okay.
I don't know what that sound effect was, but it is some great art. We talk about all the time the purples and pinks that everybody's using. They took those and then muted them to go with the tone of the story. This is one of the most beautiful stories that it was one of those things where it was like, oh, it's not superheroes and it's not horror and it's not, it didn't really, I couldn't ever describe like what genre it was really in, because it's also not realistic because there are these gods, but it's not sci-fi and it's not fantasy. And so it's kind of just falls in this in-between genre that you can't really describe. But it's such a beautiful story. And I read the last issue and I was crying so hard that I felt it necessary to announce to the people in the store what just happened that made me cry. Because I couldn't stop crying at how beautiful the last issue of the story was. And then there's a letter, and I don't actually know if the letter, there's a comic at the back of the last issue that I hope made it into the trade. I haven't actually looked. That is the creator telling his own story in comic form about why he wanted to create this story and why the story was important to him. And that just like made me cry all over again. So grab a copy of Bliss. It's not a $9.99 image because it is 8 issues. So it's a whole complete, like this is the entire story. You don't need to pick up a volume 2 later on. This is all of it, and it's so freaking good. Come to the store and read it. Like I just need you all to read this book because it's so good.
It sounds interesting. I like the concept a lot.
Concept's good. Check it out. You'll love it. That's all I got in trades. They're all good. You should read them all. All the trades. I agree.
Everything.
All of them. There it is. Prize! Alright. This prize is a copy of Eden. Speaking of books that are just like one shot, one and done.
A one-shot.
Yeah, that's what Aftershock calls their one-shots, and it makes me so happy. The amount of puns that Aftershock has put into naming things makes me just want to buy Aftershock stuff forever. And I have questions for you. The question is, showcase number 34 from National Comics features the first appearance of what character? So, showcase number 34 from National Comics, aka eventually DC, published, or features the first appearance of what character? If you need help, this book was technically pub date July 27th, 1961. So, showcase number 34, National Comics, features first appearance of what character? If you can tell me that, you get this copy of Eden. This is a one-shot or one-shot. It is not the Flash is not the answer. I know you know, Chad, but you also already read Eden, so you're probably not going to answer. Yes, BJ the Atom, aka Ray Palmer, the second one. BJ, you are getting this. Captain Underpants. Oh, Jerry, your answers are always my favorite. Yes, BJ, I can't wait for you to read this. This is a Cullen Bunn story that I think if it would have been 2 shocks, it would have been great. It needed to be a mini-series for sure. But
the artist on this book is magnificent.
Yes.
I love Dalibor Telejuk.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
Yeah. Relay. The art in Relay was so good. I read Relay purely for the art.
Do you know that there are AWA Upshot titles that... Oh.
What?
Yeah. Yeah.
That has his art?
Yeah. Just
Which
say,
one?
Hotel. Mm-hmm. And
that was the one that...
Is it Casual Fling?
Casual Fling.
Mm-hmm.
That was the one you were going nuts over, wasn't it? Casual Fling?
Casual Fling.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Just saying.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Hotel's only 4 issues. And it's,
same art.
Yeah. Super,
it's
same one.
because Hotel was an anthology. Right?
Hotel was the anthology that like completely connected at the same time. Okay. So it was like all about this hotel and people. Each issue focused on a different person in this hotel and all of the crazy stuff that happened to them. I needed a full series of that. Like I needed that to have a run like Ice Cream Man because it could have been epic.
There was I remember some people on Instagram who were pretty hyped up about it.
Yeah. What happened? What are you?
It's super hot and it says that it's high and that might cut us off.
Oh well, let's give some. Let's do the thing. We have book club this week. I'm just gonna keep talking. I'm not gonna wait to see the clips. We have book club this week. This is a $1 book club. We are doing this Winona Earp issue. This is an IDW's greatest hits, and they are now doing $1 issues. I don't know if they're gonna keep doing these, but I found this one because some subscribers came in and asked if we had any Winona Earp, and I hunted it down, and now we're doing Winona Earp. So if you you watch the show, we're going to read the issue and learn who that character is. And you're going to get to hear all about how much I know about Wyatt Earp, which is unnecessary information in my brain. Woohoo! Comic industry news. The Eisners happened last Friday. Woo! If you didn't hear some amazing things, we've talked about a couple of them today already, in that Usagi Yojimbo won some awards, as did Stan Sakai, and our best ongoing series went to Kelly Thompson and the female creative team of Black Widow. I'm so ecstatic about that win. That was such an extraordinary announcement. Super excited to hear that. And Best Writer, James Tynion, yes. As not a surprise to anybody at all.
If there was one award that he would win, that would be the one.
That would be the one. Really, really excited about that because he is just doing a phenomenal job. I can't wait to see what comes out of all of the books that he's doing. Mm-hmm. And the person that swept the Eisners, Jean Louis Yang, for Superman Smashes the Plan and Dragon Hoops. I think he won 3 or 4 Eisners on Friday. They even made the joke that they made 2 jokes. One was that he needed more shelves in his house. And the host also said that at this point they were just making decorations for his home, because he was just going to win all of them. But
understandable. Also, immediately after you let me know that Black Widow won, I went and downloaded the first trade because they have it on Hoopla. And I read it. I completely understand why it won. It makes absolutely perfect sense. I am a big fan. I think a lot of it has to do with my love for the movie. But yes, I'm on board. I definitely want to keep reading the Black Widow series. If
you like the Black Widow movie, the Yelena that you like in the movie is in this book.
Yes.
You definitely get that. And the story of family and the story... and I when we saw the movie, that was one of the things Josh and I pointed out, is that they actually don't... Kelly's name isn't one of the ones that's listed in like the creators that get credits. But they make a joke of like, oh, if you could make up like your fake life, like what would it be? And the fake life is Kelly Thompson's run.
Right.
And so I was like, well, that's just what's happening right now. And so it's so great. I'm glad that moment made it in there, and I'm glad that Kelly and team won that award, because it's much deserved, because that series has been so good. That's one of those books that the people who read it all like congregate in the store and are like, oh my god, did you already read it? Did you hear this? Did you see this? Oh my god, what's gonna happen? How's it going? And so it's definitely a book that classically draws fans together, and I love it. I'm so excited. And congratulations, Kelly and team, on Black Widow. If you're not subscribed to it, it's still ongoing. There's still time. Jump in. And also congratulations, of course, to all the other winners. Congratulations to Mike Mignola and his wife for getting the humanitarian award. Everybody talked about what Jim Lee did last year to raise money for comic book stores. And he was raising money for Bink, which helps all bookstores, not just comic book stores. Anybody that needs help that works at a bookstore nationwide can reach out to Bink at any point in time, and they help you get the funding that you need. And Jim did donate to them. But one of the things that nobody really was talking about is that Mike Mignola was actually doing original art and auctioning that off, and his wife had the idea to actually donate that money to food bank services across the country. And they fed a lot of people. They raised about $500,000 just for these food bank services that they were working with across the country last year during COVID. So that's Christine and Mike Mignola who did that, and they won the humanitarian award for that. And I think that's extraordinary, and thank you to them for doing that.
Yes. Most definitely. And I saw some of that art.
It was great.
I mean, he's fantastic. Him and Jim Lee both, because I saw the Jim Lee auctioned off pieces. Oh my gosh.
Jim Lee said that he did the best art that he's ever done in his life for these prints. And it shows. Most definitely. Yeah, it was supposed to just be headshots, and then he just decided, I'm going to do a lot as like a thank you for the people who are donating. And then other news that we have... Free Comic Book Day is coming up on August 14th, if you guys did not know that. So plan for that. We've got some announcements coming your way in the next week or so about that. Very excited. And then other than that, we have one more kid comics creation workshop for the summer this weekend, this Saturday at 10 a.m. If you haven't already signed up your kids, there's still time to do that. They've been a lot of fun. Thank you. Shout out to Juan Chango for helping us out with those, teaching the kids how to do art. It's really great to see him working on those. And then Chad, dropping our comics out this week. Oh my gosh. Berserker number 4, Strange Adventures 11, Infinite Frontier number 3, Beta Ray Bill number 5, Other History of the DC Universe number 5, finally. It says finale. I'm saying finally. Static Season 1 Issue 2, Money Shot 13, Phantom on the Scan number 4, Witchblood number 5, Darling number 2. I can't believe Darling number 2 is already out. And then Bat Fam, Something is Killing the Children number 18, and Department of Truth 11 out on the same week. TMNT Annual 2021, Superman Son of Kal-El number 1, Black Cat number 8, Wonder Woman Black and Gold number 2, Vinyl number 2, I'm very excited. Yes. Icon and Rocket, Season 1 number 1, Chariot number 5 from AWA Upshot, that is the soon-to-be theatrical movie Chariot. And then Resistance Uprising number 4, also an AWA Upshot title. lots of great and wonderful books out this week, and I'm going to throw it out in case you guys didn't catch the theme of questions today. It's the date July 27th, and if you didn't know, that's Matt's birthday. So because I run the live stream and I get to do whatever I want, I just want to say happy birthday to my wonderful husband this Tuesday. Thanks, babe.
Wait, was that?
It's for himself.
I think the whistle's for himself.
He's whistling for himself. Yes, so it is our wonderful, amazing Matt's birthday.
Was he 25? 26?
Sure. Yeah, totally. Totally in his 20s. Definitely not in his 30s at all. So happy birthday on Tuesday to Matt. We love you. I love you. I don't know if Phil loves you, but I love you.
It's debatable.
Yes. All right. And on that note, I got some more prizes. I got one more prize before we kill this camera. All right. We got two things. This is the hard one. We have to do this.
Oh, that's okay.
All right. So you are getting a double prize. I'm giving this away. Usually
she can hold the king and black.
Yeah.
I'll hold this and she holds that?
Yeah, I don't even know. I don't poster hold. I'm very bad at this because I'm not very tall.
Do you want me to hold the poster?
Yeah. All right, you're getting this Venom poster, and you're getting a copy of King in Black #1, the second print, to go with it. Yeah. If you can tell me, and this is the easiest question I have entirely. This loony comic character first appeared in a cartoon short on July 27th, 1940. If you can tell me what character that is, you get this poster and this comic that you can't see because there's a giant glare on both of them. But it's a Venom poster, and it's super cool. It's actually the cover of Venom 200, which is Venom 25. 35, sorry. Venom 35, aka 200. If you can tell me this loony comic character first appeared in a cartoon short on July 27th, 1940. Yes, Chad. The cartoon short was a wild hare, and the character was Bugs Bunny. I didn't even ask you to give me that, but you got it. So, Chad, you are getting this Venom poster and this King in Black. Awesome. There you go. That goes to Chad. I gotta write that down because I'll forget. So, congratulations, Chad. Thank you all for joining us. There's lots of amazing books out this week, so I'm sure we will see you all on Wednesday. We'll be happy to talk to you about all of the amazing comics if you come. Also, one other thing real fast. Shout out to Vault for their amazing t-shirt selection.
Yes,
if you
definitely.
guys, and their amazing comic collection, let's be honest. Vault has some of the best t-shirts. They have t-shirts for every one of their titles on their website. They also have t-shirts for Vault itself and the Night Vault imprint, which is their horror line. I love it. Check out vault.com to find out all of their cool t-shirt deals and pick up t-shirts for your favorite titles from Vault. If you don't have a favorite title from Vault, come see any of the three of us, because Matt, myself, and Phil will gladly recommend all of Vault to you for as long as you're willing to listen. So we'll see you in the shop on Wednesday. We'll see you on Zoom. The link will be coming your way on Thursday for book club, where we talk about Winona Earp. We will see you for any of those. And once again, happy birthday, Matt. We love you. And we'll see you guys this week.
Bye.